What's going on, guys? Clone Force 23 here, coming at you with another deck tech video for Jump to Lightspeed. I got my boy Alec here. How we doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. All right, so we got a hot one for you today. It could be Mono Kazuda. I s-
Kazuda.
and I still gotta watch Resistance to figure out who the heck Kazuda is, but I know that this is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
people are gonna know who he is
people
now.
people are gonna figure it out.
The resistance views after this are going through the
Going
roof. Look,
Make sure it's
Disney's gonna
on.
be like, "What is? Did we printed a card? That's why this show is popular now. What? What's going on?"
We're gonna talk about action cheating today.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Not even act. It's just like
There's
action cheating, ability cheating, like
yeah.
overstated unit cheating. Like, oh man.
That's why he's cheesing in that photo.
Yeah, he's like, no one knows who I am, but that's why I get broken abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
So
talking about my boy Mono Yellow Kaz. So no secret, Cunning's broken, right? Not just the card, the aspect itself,
no
especially
secret. Yeah.
Mono Yellow. Yeah, no secret. And we had actually go check out our video. My first iteration of Kaz was a Target Down Kaz with some other stuff that's pretty cute, some cool combos you can run with it, but it didn't feel like it was the way. And then after that, I remember just being like, man, like mono yellow Kaz seems strong. Like it seemed like it could be a strong thing. And so I tried it out and oh my gosh, this deck is nuts. I mean, this is Sabine levels of aggro, sometimes even more than that. So we're going to talk about it. First, the leader, because that is a huge part of this deck. So Kazuda's leader ability is you can take an action and a friendly unit loses all abilities for this round. Then on top of that, it could have stopped there and it'd still be good. But on top of that, we got an extra sentence that says, take an extra action after this one, which is basically saying, take an action to turn off your unit's abilities and then also claim the initiative. Like, okay, sure. Why
So
wouldn't I do that?
let me grab my rule book here quick. My understanding is that the regroup phase is before the next round,
Correct. It's in the same
or
turn,
or
basically.
yeah. So you get to shut down. That's where the key is, and this is where you're gonna have to have a rule book with you every time you play this
Oh
deck.
gosh, yeah. So many people are going to be like, "Nope, that's not correct." Like, yeah, yeah, it is.
um,
At least four different cards that I'm going to have to speak on about this.
so basically, when you shut down the turn for that turn, it will protect it for any negative effects from the regroup phase, which almost all of these cards do that.
Yeah, the main three that we're going to be talking about revolving around that is the Fireball, the Contracted Hunter, and the Millennium Falcon. So essentially, with Kaz, you're turning off those abilities. So in the regroup phase, the Fireball will not take one damage. The Contracted Hunter will not defeat itself, and probably the most broken is the Millennium Falcon. You will not have to pay a resource to keep it in play, which is unbelievably good,
Yeah.
especially in mono yellow. Um, and then the other one, the just as you can see, a lot of new cards in this deck, and that's what I like about it. It's like I'm
Yeah.
playing with a lot of new cards. But the other one that is absurd is the Stolen AT Hauler. So the Stolen AT Hauler is a 3 cost, 4/5 in space. You hear that and you're like, oh, why is that not the best card in the game? Well, because when it's defeated, you get to choose an opponent. Obviously, in limited Premier, you'd only have one opponent, but they get to play it from your discard pile for free. So, again, one that doesn't happen during the regroup phase, but you can start your turn with turning that off with Kaz and then just swinging in for four. And then if it gets defeated, hey, it gets defeated, but your opponent doesn't get to take it that phase,
Sure.
which is sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
Seems good. So yeah, we're in kind of a funnel. We're running the mono yellow cunning good stuff. We've got hot shot blasters, we've got surprise strikes, we've got cunning, we've got all the pump cards, and then we've got spark rebellions, waylays, and kiras to kind of protect our Kaz turn, because that can be really important. He's very similar to Sabine, where that turn you can punch up a bunch of damage, but there can be very easy counters to it. So Spark and Kira really help you protect to make sure that turn happens the way you want to. We're playing L3 and Leia. Leia is just our, hey, we can exhaust something to keep our tempo going, or always open wide with Leia, ready a resource, play a cartel turncoat. Also one that you can turn the bounty off for it. So you just get a 2/3 in space with no downside for one, which is great. And then we're playing Bodhi, which is, again, something we can jam out to help protect our Kaz flip. And then just the good stuff, Cantina Pouncer. This card is just so good. I feel like I want to push more into the main deck. I have the other two in the side, and sometimes it just feels so good, especially in this upgrade, world of set 4. They play piled on something, you just get it on here. So Cantina Pouncer. So other than that, it's all new stuff. If you've seen a couple of our other videos, we will not stop talking about this, but Lux Bontari is crazy. I love that a card just came out of the locker and is now like probably going to be in everyone's list, if not in the main, definitely in the side for set 4. He's super great. I mean, a 3/2 in the ground is not bad. On top of that, we do have pilots, and we're piloting a little bit, but not as much. So his counter into those pilot decks is super good. But our optimal turn 1 play is, of course, the Fireball. A 3/3 ambush in space. Sometimes you're not even resolving this ambush. You just get a 3/3 in space, which is pretty absurd to start with. Battlefield Marine in space, which never should happen. And of course, it has a downside, but with Kaz, it doesn't. So really great. And then our 3 drops, we got both Falcons, both amazing cards. The new Falcon is probably our highest damage potential card on the Kaz flip, because you could equip Kaz to him as a pilot and then play the Han pilot to pump him and have 2 pilots on it. Like, I think if I'm doing my math, it's like 11 damage or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems good. What a great combo. And you're left with 2 resources, which means you could have started the turn with Spark of Rebellion to prevent them from preventing this from happening. So, yeah, the new Falcons, crazy. Old Falcons, great. And then we got the Contracted Hunter, which is just a 4/4 ambush on the ground, which is really good. Again, you open up, you ambush him into a ground unit, use Kaz to turn off his ability, claim, or swing with another unit, your turn 1 play. It's very versatile. I know a lot of Kaz's aren't running him, but sometimes when you're in the race with these decks, especially the ones that have counterplay to pilots, you just want to throw out guys. You don't want to be piloting, put everything in on one ship. So he's just good to throw out there. He wears a hot shot blaster super well, 6 damage. That's super relevant. So yeah, he'll probably stay in for sure. In my testing, it's been great. And then, as I spoke on before, we're playing the Stolen AT Hauler, and you throw Kaz on this ship, and it's doing chunky damages. Now, I am on the Petronaki Arena, I did play I think it's called the Nabat Village, which is the new
Mm,
uh, rare yellow base
the
where you
draw
draw
9.
9 cards. Yeah, and it was really nice because I could find my Hotshot Blasters and my L3s to have smuggle targets. But ultimately, those are the only smuggle cards I'm playing, and I didn't really find it all that helpful. But man, having the +1 attack on Kaz is pretty relevant because it also affects the ship that you put him on. So he's either now a 3/5 on the ground, really good stat line, as we've seen in yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, he is a +4/+3 to a ship on 4. Um, so that stolen AT hauler becomes a 8/8 in space on turn 4
Okay.
without even playing any cards. So, and on attack, you can turn off its ability, of course. So that's a really, really good card in the deck. And to round it off, we're playing 2 new pilots, which is Han Solo and the Mandalorian. Um, Mando is like pretty versatile because in the races against all these aggro decks, playing him on 5 and just exhausting 2 ground units as a unit,
It's pretty good.
pretty good. Like it's sealed up games before for sure, where they just don't have the action economy. I have all of my guys still, and you can just get off damage. And then the Han pilot is less relevant as a ground unit, but probably more relevant as a pilot because a surprise strike in space is great, especially when it gives it shoot first to both of our Falcons, who are great targets for the Han pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is wonderful. I may even consider going 3 Han, 1 Mando. That could be a good,
Oh,
you
sure.
know, use of, I don't know. Sometimes I just want the Han just because I want to have like 3 of all my pumps normally. We're playing 3 strikes, 3 guns, 3 Cunnings. And it would make sense to play the 3 Hans as well, just to maximize those those numbers adding up. And then I forgot to talk about them at the front. We're playing 1 R2D2, one of the new guys. So
Yeah.
the other Falcon, the new one, gives you that flexibility to throw 2 pilots on it. So if I have the old Falcon or the AT hauler, you generally want to throw Kaz and then something else on there. So R2 allows you to at least throw 2 pilots on one of those ships and give a
Oh,
+1
sure.
plus. So he's just a little flex choice, and he's a 1/4 on the ground if that needs to be what he needs to be. So he's there as well. And then the sideboard we're running just kind of slotted in, one of cards that we're missing in the main with Spark, Bodhi, Waylay, and then the 2 bouncers like I talked about. We are up to 3 bamboozles
Oh,
in
yeah.
the side deck now, just due to the piloting upgrade meta that we're probably about to enter. I I may even mess around with bamboozles in the main deck, depending on really how this meta shapes up. And then I do have 2 copies of a new adventure. Now, this is strictly because Kaz compared to Mono Han from set one. He's kind of the deck you could compare him to. Obviously, they're both mono yellow. Kaz feels a little bit more just strictly an aggro deck, where Han is like this mid-rangey, combo-y kind of deck, but also very aggressive. Um, but if we're pairing a new adventure with Lux is our boy, you can do some crazy stuff. So I it's something that I'm just testing with. I'll see how nice it is, and
Sure.
if it's too cute, it probably comes out. But could be some cool stuff with Lux. You bounce your opponent's card for 2, and then if they end up playing it back and you have Lux, you get to ready one of your units. Which, if it's your 8/8 stolen AT hauler, sure, that's great trade. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of cunning going on here. I mean, all the great yellow stuff makes a good
Yeah,
deck, and just those just those overstated cards with a downside, being able to just skirt around that makes a pretty concerning strategy. But I think it's gonna do some work.
Yeah, I think so. This might be my day one sleeve for set 4, assuming I get the new stuff that I need. There's plenty of new cards in here, but he's the most the inner Sabine player in me, and now the obviously Han player in me is like, oh man, this is so fun. I mean, this feels like the Vulture Droid Vader deck. Like, he's very fun to play. Just it's a little bit more thinking, I'd say, than the typical aggro deck. You're like, okay, what am I going to do with my extra action? What ability do I need to negate? And, there's this, okay, what if I play the Fireball turn 1 and then I play the Contract and Hunter turn 2? Well, I can only negate one of their effects. Yeah. So it's like this, okay, what can I stand to lose or allow this effect to resolve in this matchup? It's kind of a cool way of playing. I think it's super interesting. I mean, it definitely opens up the book down the road too. Like, okay, we're gonna print this legendary that's super overstated but has a really bad ability. Well, Kaz loves this. Yeah. Hopefully it's not in yellow.
Yeah, they gotta be careful. Again, more cards that we have to be careful about. And
right.
I mean, just the take an extra action, that is a dangerous text right there.
That is very dangerous. Yeah, that is for sure dangerous.
We'll see how it shapes out, but yeah, I'm excited to see this one in action.
Yeah, super excited. So if you guys have any questions about it, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, feel free to leave a like, comment on the video, subscribe. After that, we'll talk to you later. Peace out.
Peace out.
Space Tech, Spaceports, TCG, Card Sports, of course, till my voice goes hoarse. Welcome, wrecking, decking with the strategy, the energy, it's Clone Force 23. Space Tech.